The explosives industry was founded in the U.S. when black powder was used to mine for minerals, break rock, clear fields, and to make roads. It is unknown who invented the first explosive black powder, also known as gunpowder, a mixture of saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal. It originated in China around the 9th century and was in wide use throughout Asia and Europe by the end of the 13th century. Commonly used in fireworks and signals, as well as in mining and building operations. Black powder is the oldest form of ballistic propellant and was used with early muzzle-type firearms and in artillery. Black powder is categorized as a low explosive because it expands at subsonic speeds when it detonates. High explosives, by contrast, expand at supersonic speeds, creating much more force. In 1831, William Bickford, an English leather merchant, invented the first safety fuse. Safety fuse made black powder explosives much more practical and safer to handle. High explosives and the cleaner smokeless powder, such as what is currently used in firearms ammunition, began to replace black powder by the end of the 18th century. It is not an overstatement to say that this nation was built with the help of explosives. In the 1860s, Alfred Nobel, a Swede, invented dynamite and the blasting cap, which was required to make dynamite explode. He licensed it in the United States, and the Industrial Revolution began. Prior to that, in 1846, the chemical explosive nitroglycerin was discovered by Italian chemist Ascanio Sobrero and was the first explosive more powerful than black powder. Nitroglycerin, which is highly volatile, is a mix of nitric acid, sulfuric acid, and glycerol. Sobrero warned against its potential dangers after several serious accidents caused pure liquid nitroglycerin to be widely banned. But in 1864, Alfred Nobel adopted it as a commercial explosive by mixing it with inert ingredients to form a product he called dynamite. In 1867, Nobel patented dynamite, a high explosive mixture consisting of nitroglycerin, diatomaceous earth, which was an absorbent, and a small amount of sodium carbonate antacid as a stabilizer. The resultant mixture was considerably safer than pure nitroglycerin, as well as being much more powerful than black powder. Other materials are now used as the absorbent and stabilizing agents, but dynamite remains one of the premier explosives used in commercial mining, construction, and demolition. With the use of dynamite, mines could now recover deposits quicker and mine deeper, thus making mining more economical and profitable. The extracted tonnage of copper, coal, and iron ore increased 100-fold. New industries emerged. Some seem so basic today that it is difficult to imagine a world without explosives.
In 1884, 25 years after the discovery of oil in 1859 at Drake's Well in Titusville, Pennsylvania, a new use for nitroglycerin was developed by the Roberts Torpedo Company to fracture oil wells and increase daily production rates. 4 years later, an American chemist, Charles Monroe, discovered a method of focusing blast energy using a hollow or void cut on a surface of an explosive. Known as the Monroe effect, this focusing of blast energy was used during World War II to develop shaped charge munitions. Since then, the effect has been put to more beneficial use, resulting in modern specialty explosive products that have replaced nitroglycerin in oil and gas well production. Today, commercial-shaped charges are used most extensively in the petroleum and natural gas industries for the completion of oil and gas wells. Their detonation perforates the metal casing of the well at intervals to admit the inflow of oil and gas for removal to the surface. The Monroe effect and the resulting specialty explosives products have permitted the development of previously inaccessible natural gas and oil reservoirs. Quarrying, with the help of explosives, allowed materials such as limestone, cement, and concrete to replace bricks and cobblestones, and eventually became the common building products we know today. Harbors were deepened and widened, railways and roads pushed into the wilds, and dams were built to help create enough electricity to pave the way into the 20th century. America found dynamite to be the new muscle or power tool that drove growth to all industries, including oil and gas exploration, power production, mineral mining, as well as pipeline, tunnel, and highway construction. In the age between the close of the Civil War and the end of World War II, no single engineering tool surpassed the achievement of dynamite.
In 1863, TNT, or trinitrotoluene, was invented by German chemist Joseph Wilbrand. Originally formulated as a yellow dye, its explosive properties were not immediately evident, but it was stable enough to be safely poured into shell casings. In the early 20th century, TNT came into standard usage for German and British military munitions. Considered a high explosive, TNT is still in common use by the military for munitions and by explosive companies around the world in the manufacture of cast boosters. Over the last 50 years, this workhorse for industrial progress has been joined by even more efficient and safer explosives products known as water gels, emulsions, and many more economical, less sensitive bulk delivery systems. Ammonium nitrate, which was historically mined as a natural occurring mineral, is now virtually 100% synthetically produced. By itself, ammonium nitrate is not an explosive, but readily forms an explosive mixture with varying properties when combined with a fuel such as diesel fuel oil. ANFO is a mixture of ammonium nitrate, commonly called AN, and fuel oil, FO, and is widely used as an industrial bulk explosive today. It is used in coal mining, quarrying, metal mining, and civil construction. Since the mid-1950s, a variety of additional explosives have been developed based upon ammonium nitrate. In 1956, Dr. Melvin Cook developed the first commercial slurry, which has the advantages of being a waterproof ammonium nitrate, available in bulk or packaged forms, and can be formulated as a high explosive or a blasting agent. Multiple non-explosive chemicals are used in the manufacture of slurries. Water gels and slurries are considered similar products in the world of industrial explosives. Emulsion explosives were first developed by Atlas Powder Company in the late 1960s and are a water-in-oil formulation. Typical components include microscopic ammonium nitrate particles dissolved in water surrounded by an oil phase emulsifier mixture. Density control agents may be added, such as glass or plastic microballoons for sensitizing purposes. Some formulations also include sodium nitrate or calcium nitrate as an oxidizer. The advantage of emulsions is in the simplicity of the formulations and their availability for use in bulk or packaged forms. In addition, the various formulations can be sensitized to be a high explosive, a blasting agent, or left as an oxidizer depending on the application demands.
Initiation systems have significantly evolved throughout the past 200 years to make blasting much safer and more efficient than ever before. Prior to the invention of safety fuse in the 1830s, it was common for blasters to use a goose quill filled with black powder to ignite the main black powder charge, which too often resulted in fatalities. At the dawn of the modern era, safety fuses saved countless lives and became the standard initiation product for many years. In 1863, Alfred Nobel invented the first fuse cap. This was another giant leap in technology that allowed for the safe initiation of another recent development, nitroglycerin. Electric detonators were first developed in the 1880s, while half-second delay electrics became available in the early 1900s. By the 1940s, millisecond delay caps were introduced, opening the door for the development of modern-day blast designs. Electric detonators emerged as the standard, but were eventually overtaken by the introduction of non-electric detonators. Detonating cord, which is a flexible, small-diameter braided or spun rope with an explosive core, was invented in France in 1907 and played a prominent role in the blasting industry for many years. Various forms are still used today for specific applications, providing a number of safety advantages over early electric detonators, such as immunity to stray currents and radio frequency energy, commonly known as RF energy. The first shock tube detonator, which incorporated a hollow plastic tube with a small dusting of explosives on the inner wall, was invented in 1967 by Dr. Per Anders Persson of Nitro Nobel AB in Sweden. This eventually became commonly known as Non-El, which is a registered trade name or non-electric. This became popular due to its non-disruptive nature when detonated, as well as its immunity to static, stray currents, and RF energy in the field. The reactivity of the tubing allowed an unlimited level of sequencing and blast design flexibility, which also increased its popularity. Several other non-electric systems have been developed, but shock tube products remain one of today's most commonly used initiation systems. More recent advances in explosive product technology has been the development of electronic initiation systems. Early prototypes were first developed in the 1980s and became commercially available in the late 1990s. A number of manufacturers have developed their own unique systems, but many similarities do exist between all of them. The latest drive-in product evolution is wireless electronic initiation systems, where two-way communication is achieved through RF or leadless technologies. Electronic detonators provide millisecond delay accuracy, individual detonator programming, testing of each detonator, and an ability to interrogate the entire network. This has opened the door to improved blast design techniques, as well as enhanced safety, productivity, and environmental controls. These blasting systems are harnessing the technology of today's world to blast more safely in the future.